My name is Mary, and this is how I ended up with my happily ever after. Before getting married, I was the star of Port Harcourt. I was a model, pageant queen, and brand ambassador for various creams and cosmetic brands. I was a beauty, envied by women. Usually, men fight to be with me, which made it difficult for me to find the one who loves me for me. I came to limelight at a very young age, which made me one of the youngest celebrity. Though I had the fame, money, and I get to travel to places for vacations, I wasn't really happy. After coming back for shoots and events, I become lonely in my duplex. I was always wishing I had a man before becoming famous. Now every man just wants to get inside me, and which makes me not trust men until Jake came into the picture. Jake and I have been friends from secondary school and nothing more. He was 2 classes ahead of me. He helped me in school, but we got separated when we entered the university. I got admitted into the University of Port Harcourt while Jake was admitted into the University of Benin. We only chatted on phone, but after a year we both met new friends. I was surprised to hear from him after 7 years. He had just been transferred to Port Harcourt by the automobile company he works for. He then contacted me, and by then I was already a celebrity. We did a lot of catching up, we went out and we had fun. After 6 months, I and Jake were engaged. I was comfortable with Jake because we knew ourselves way back. 2 months after our engagement, we got married. It was really a blast wedding. I had support from every brand I advertised for, and my fans were really happy with me. Also from Jake's end, working in an automobile company, we had multi-millionaires in attendance, and the gifts and cash were massive. It was a pleasant day to remember. We traveled to Maldives for our honeymoon. It was a wonderful experience. I felt grateful for Jake. He was the best decision I made in marriage, or so I thought. After our 1-year anniversary, I got pregnant, and 9 months later, I gave birth. Pregnancy didn't look good on me. I added weight and had stretch marks over my waist and arms. Suddenly, Jake changed towards me. He would stay out late at night, and when I questioned him, he would hit me and threaten to throw me out in the streets. When I got pregnant, I had quit my career as model and brand ambassador to focus on raising my family, since Jake was now a manager and he was now a multi-millionaire. I opened a mini mall with my cash, which my secretary Beatrice managed first me, so that I will have at least a source of income irrespective of my husband's money. I really wondered why Jake just changed all of a sudden. I thought the love would be stronger now that I have a baby for him, but the reverse was the case. It was as though Jake was irritated anytime he sees me. He barely sleeps with me or even touch. He had become allergic to me. One day, he came back after clubbing, drunk and wasted. I asked him why he became like this. All I got that night was beating. And then at the end he said, "I irritate him. My body is shapeless. I am no longer a beauty goddess, and I'm now looking like his mother with all the stretch marks." He said he cannot bear to look at me, talk less of touching me. After I heard his words, I was depressed. I knew, even though I had no evidence that he had a mistress. Sometimes Jake will stay out for 2 weeks, only to come home when he feels like, and I dare not question him. I didn't know what to do or think. I cried all day, all night, but I had to just be strong for my baby. One day, I decided to visit my mall unannounced. On getting there, I headed for the manager's office. I knocked and entered, and to my greatest surprise, my husband was making out with my secretary Beatrice. I was devastated. I ran out. On my way out, I bumped into a man and almost fell, but he caught me midair. I couldn't hide my tears, but when I wiped my eyes, I saw it was Chris, a friend. He looked at me with concern in his eyes. "Queen May," as he fondly calls me. "What happened? Why are you crying and running?" I told him I couldn't talk, but he insisted and took me to his car and got me a drink. I told him everything, and I told him I was tired of the marriage. I wanted to file for a divorce, but I was also considering my baby. He told me that if I reported the case as a case of abuse with evidence, that I would win in court, so I started preparing my evidence. Jake never felt remorse, neither did he care about how I felt seeing him have an affair. Jake is my greatest regret. I thought to myself that if I succeed leaving this marriage, I would raise my child as a single mom. I wasn't going to risk entering into another marriage. I lost everything, my career, my pride and dignity. Jake drained me. Chris offered to help me with the legal processes, but he told me that if I really wanted to stay alive, that I should move out of the house. I moved out of Jake's house secretly, and I went to stay at a place that Chris got for me, where Jake won't easily find me. Like, share, and comment for part 2.